I'm the Tailorette. I'm going to tell you 5 things that everyone thinks you need that I found that I absolutely just don't use. Number 1 is a really fancy sewing machine with lots of different stitches. Now I'll tell you, it's helpful to have a home sewing machine starting off that has the buttonhole stitch, the zigzag stitch, and the straight stitch. Any other stitch outside of that honestly is not necessary. I lived without a sewing machine that didn't have any extra stitches, not even the zigzag stitch, for a long time, and I did a lot of French seams. And I'll tell you, French seams look a lot better than the zigzag stitch. I have found that the sewing machines that are focused on one purpose are a lot better quality. So for instance, I have my Juki straight stitch sewing machine. It does its straight stitch really well, really fast, very efficient, has no other bells and whistles on it, but it does its job really well. The second thing I would never invest in as a seamstress is an expensive iron. Guys, I buy a $20, maybe it's $30 now, but I bought mine for $20 and it's a Black & Decker iron and I absolutely love the iron. It does its job and it honestly does the same job as an expensive iron. I bought a $70 iron one time and I thought I was doing pretty great because it had a lot of great reviews. It was a good iron. However, when I dropped it, that was the beginning of the end of that life. However, I'm not recommending that you drop your iron, but I've dropped this iron so many times because I'm just so crazy in my sewing room sometimes and it's still working. So I'm just saying. Third thing I don't think you need as a beginning seamstress or a seamstress in general is sewing lessons. Now, while it can actually jumpstart you into learning a lot of things, I do believe that curiosity is the best teacher because you're not limiting yourself to each lesson of what you can do. When you start researching things, you're learning at your own pace and in your own style. Whereas when you have from a teacher, sometimes that can dictate the style in which you learn, the progression in how you learn things, the pace in how you learn things. That is going to get you a lot further than having someone hold your hand all the way through. We have so much at our fingertips, you guys. We have the whole internet. Now, while I think there's a lot of bad things on the internet, I think there's a whole lot of great things that we can learn. And seriously, maybe I'm just a weirdo and go ahead and pick on me in the comments, but I honestly don't know why we have colleges these days. We can learn more than what the colleges are actually teaching us. And we can learn with our own style. Okay, yes, I do recommend going on YouTube, but I also do recommend having a lot of friends that are into the fiber arts just surrounding you. People who are really interested in it. Now, while someone who's knitting may not be in your world and understanding the sewing world, you'd be surprised at how many of the principles of learning things actually cross over between the different arts. Now, I'm not saying that you use knitting needles at your sewing machine. That is not what I'm saying, but you'll know what I mean when you start surrounding yourself with creative people. You'll start figuring out that no matter what they do, you can learn something from everybody. Number 4 is interfacing. Now, you might be like, what in the world? You need interfacing. Well, I'll tell you, interfacing is basically just another layer of fabric that you need to stabilize a material. I line all of my lightweight fabrics with another lightweight fabric behind it, and that makes it feel more natural. The thing that I struggle with interfacing is it's just a fabric. It's just a fabric, and it's actually a synthetic fabric at that. So why not put a natural fiber in there and add cotton? And some interfacings actually have a lot of glue on them and the glue melts and it shrinks. I prefer to use cotton as my interfacing. I just back my lightweight fabric or something that needs more stability with another piece of fabric. I don't even buy interfacing. There are a lot of patterns that make you feel like you have to have the interfacing in there. And I've found that most of the time that they want you to put interfacing, like in necklines, I do not add interfacing to necklines. Just basic necklines. Might sound silly, but I've just added an extra layer of cotton if it needs more stability. Don't get me wrong, I do think there's a place for interfacing. There are some projects that do need interfacing, but I will tell you, I have gone 5 years without using interfacing. Number 5 is store-bought bias tape. Now, I'm not saying that you can't buy bias tape from the store. It's definitely usable. It's not like it's a piece of junk. I make all of my bias tape, and that just brings the sewing up a notch. I'll tell you, when you see bias tape that was made specifically for something, it looks custom and like you didn't make it. Now, it is possible to find a bias tape that actually really matches your project really well. However, that is really hard to find the right exact color tone that matches exactly what you use. So make your bias tape, which I have a link below on how I make my bias tape if you're interested in watching that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I didn't offend you if you do any of these things. I'm not saying that they're law. I'm a big fan of there are no rules and everyone has their own way of doing things. But these are the things that I've found helpful after 17 years of sewing that I just don't need. So if you found this insightful and helpful and you want to see more of my content, hit that subscribe button below. That really helps support my YouTube channel. And I will see you next time if you hit that subscribe